And good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, April 8th, 2021. And we just finished the 18th episode of the 9th season of Big Brother Canada. And it was a double eviction episode. We continue our coverage, ending this 6th week of the season. I'm Dave Mader, coming at you here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, joined with Jaemeel Robinson. Jaemeel, what a night. How are you feeling?
Disappointed.
And what's the source of that disappointment?
It's a tale of two cities. The first city was so wonderful. It was so great. They had fireworks, explosions in the air, bodies and blood left on the floor in the outside patio area. And then we get to the second city, and it's all calm on the Western Front. Sir Keith does nothing to defend the kingdom and rolls down the drawbridge to give the others free reign in the city. It was just such a downer of the latter part of the episode. The double eviction part was the disappointment.
The double eviction. So, what was your reaction to Kiefer winning this HOH?
I was like, is he going to make a move? And then the reaction after that with the ceremony was no, he was not. He did not.
I was not surprised in the least by what happened here with Kiefer's HOH. And so my reaction to Kiefer winning HOH was complete disappointment because he did not disappoint my expectations. He completely fulfilled them. And he did exactly what I thought he would, which was put up Braden and Rohan.
Baby.
The Rose Show, baby. It's over. It's a jury show now with Victoria. Spicy V in the Rose Show. No more. It's the end of an era in this season. Both of those big players, somewhat big personalities, are gone after tonight. They'll be back for the vote, of course, but it's a whole new dynamic in that house. But Kiefer's got a Kiefer, and he was consistent, very predictable.
Why, Kiefer? Why? You had your shot. Do it.
Did you? But did the chances of him doing it were about less than 1%, in my estimations, if I want to be even somewhat objective about it. Like, I thought there was no way he would ever not put up Rohan. The only way I didn't think he would put up Rohan was because Rohan would give himself a chance to take himself down. But since you're down to like what, there's only 6 players at this point, there's or 7 players, right? Like there's not that many people that are eligible to play anyway. So the chances are Rohan would end up in the veto regardless. So you guys will put him up from the get. And Braden is like, there's nothing good. Kiefer and Braden don't seem to be aligned or working closely. So there's no reason for him not to put up Braden in case Rohan does take himself down. So this was very predictable.
It's the trio remains. And now I think Kiefer, if someone on Tina and Tara don't win, he's gone.
Yeah, well, I'd say that the trio is pretty locked in for at least final 4 at this point. Like, they are looking really strong. I think the chances that even someone will eventually have to will by default win HOH that's not them or working with them by accident, maybe, and then perhaps you get one of them out, maybe, if you're lucky, but it's not looking good. It's for if you're not in that group, Kiefer, they'll be loyal to him to a point, I think, and maybe he'll just win outright and he'll get to decide his own fate. Perhaps.
Why wouldn't you get rid of Kiefer right now? He is the only comp threat that's left in the game.
Well, yeah, that was like the thought I was left with after this episode was done tonight, Jaemeel, was, now what? Okay, fine. The big bad Rohan, he's gone now. What do you do now? Like, who's the new public enemy? Tara? Tina? Anybody? Like, who is it exactly?
There's no one in the game left that's going to be a number 1 or number 2 for Kiefer. There's no one left. Tina's going to be
Tina, maybe, Tara. But Tina's with Tara.
Yeah, and then the trio are the trio, and Brayden is, canoodling, like snuggling with Ty. Like
Right.
you're out of the picture.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll come back to that. Just what are the sort of dynamics moving forward, but let's talk about this episode and how it played out because it was a spicy episode. Things did get spicy.
Oof.
It was quite the night. They set this up. There was a lot of tension coming into tonight, with this.
In a house of mirrors, it's difficult to see straight.
They were ready with the effects.
Oh man, it was intense. And they had like the echoes.
How do I know if you're ever being real now?
Jedson, like that,
Yeah.
he's like, how do I know, man? How do I never
I'm
know
surprised
if
they
you're
didn't
being
have
real?
like Big Brother.
Stay solid.
Stay solid. Yeah, this was there's a lot of tension coming into this, and then the effects of this double or of the back door here to put up Victoria.
Backdooring is like
Heartless, and she's going double or nothing on this. We find day 38 is sort of where this was. This was probably like around Monday that this happened, right? So this is a couple days ago.
Which
But,
one? The outside
No, well, even when the POV ceremony happened and when Victoria ultimately went up. So this was a few days ago, right? Wasn't yesterday.
Wasn't yesterday.
Yeah, and so Vic says, "I'm fighting for my life," and basically she's going cutthroat. She doesn't care. She'll do whatever she has to. She's going to give us a show on the way out. If anything, Victoria, a consummate performer. She's on a
She
show.
wants to come back for All Stars, obviously.
Well, yeah. Well,
Nothing is rigged.
she gets to be an all-star. That's just what the fate demands, and so this whole fight that happens out in the backyard here. Okay, it starts with this whole conversation Vic's having with Beth and her allies, like Rohan. Well, Rohan's there for part of it for some reason, but Jedson and Ty are also there. And they're like, you know what? I got to know between you and I think it's to Sean more than anything. He says, I need to know between Tara and Victoria who's telling the truth. I have to hear both sides. And basically, he just wants to get as much information as he can, get them to fight each other. So not a bad strategy. So this comes down to it, and Vic's like, I'm loyal to the Ghost Peppers. I'm going to campaign hard to them. Okay, but there was also this other segue we had here where Tara was talking to Kiefer, and she's like, I need your vote to stay, right? And if I stay here for the Monday, I can do it for my brother who passed away many years ago and whatever. And I want to do it for his memory. So that's why you shouldn't vote me out in this particular stage of the game.
Kiefer wasn't going to vote her out anyways.
He wasn't going to do it anyways. But so I guess this was just a give. If it was just to give Tara a moment here, fine. But I don't necessarily agree with this as a pitch to keep me in the game.
Well, for sentimental reasons, if she feels that Keith let's say Keith told a similar story about being HOH on specific days because it's important to him for his family, maybe she was just reciprocating that type of feeling and saying why this week is important for her. We don't know.
Well, yeah, okay, like sure. Just in the context of how it was presented on the show, I was like, I don't know if I was Kiefer how well I would receive this. Just without maybe a context of like you're saying, where I told a story like that, and so now it kind of comes full circle, right? Like that if that meant something to you, then this might mean something in your context. Have a heart and don't vote me out.
Well, in the grand scheme of the game, if you need to go, you need to go. It doesn't matter if it's the anniversary, don't matter. You can enjoy that anniversary and celebrate it with a good meal on next week, Thursday evening, when I send you out of the house. You got to do what you got to do. So,
you're a rock star. How dare you on my daughter's birthday?
Don't you feel kind of obligated to say, well, I knew it was your daughter's birthday and I wanted to make sure I gave her a gift she wouldn't remember? Mm. Bye.
Yes. Well, that's why I want to see you play, Jaemeel. I want to see the cutthroat, even more cutthroat than Spicy V here. But
If I was look, I can't be that cutthroat. I would be like, you need to go, Jaemeel. First day, Jaemeel
No.
needs to go.
No, you wouldn't present this, but you'd want to be. I think you'd be trying to fight this, trying to be like, I want to
the DR.
Yeah, the DR. We would get the real thing. He's like, I just want to get rid of all these people. I'm not with anybody. But,
I hate all these people.
all these people that aren't me.
Where they send the messages for when you win HOH and everyone's humming and hawing. I'm gonna be rolling my eyes inside. I don't care about your kids. I don't care about your pets. I don't care about your parents. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. No. Here, I'll give you my ring, and this is from my whatever.
Bring all sorts of extra jewelry to do that. Is like, this is my high school graduation ring. I swear on it that I won't vote you out. Here is my mother's necklace. You just give out jewelry for every single person.
Speaking of which, we got to talk about this confrontation in the backyard.
Yes.
This was basically Tara versus Victoria in an all-out, like, intense kind of slugfest, a smear fest, if you will. Everyone else just kind of eating it up, and Jed and Ty and Beth being like, "This is the best thing ever." Just get them to fight and not yell at us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who ultimately made this decision to put you up, Victoria? Instead, Victoria's like, "No, I'll just go at the other nominee and take all the heat off of you."
Looking for blood. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay. So what was your reaction to Tara? How Tara was in this moment?
Tara should have walked away. She gave V exactly what she wanted.
Right.
You don't have to participate. Look, you don't have to participate in these type of confrontations. This was not like a meeting or a conversation. It was a confrontation. You don't have to participate. Right? You stay there and you take it. All right.
True.
She could have been like Latoya and go, "I'm going into the pool. All right. I have no time for this. We can talk later," and just exit the scene. Right.
Right.
She gave Victoria exactly what she wanted. Victoria's been looking for a huge blow up, and she got it.
She sure did. And this was delicious. I loved this whole thing. I thought it was amazing here with just them bickering and going at it here. It was great, Big Brother. The oddballs were exposed in this scene too. The oddballs and Braden was like trying to do damage control through a lot of it. Like, oh my god, like I was in the oddballs maybe or whatever. It didn't matter. Victoria had nothing to lose here, and she played like she didn't, you know.
Wait, do you have to have the clip of the oddballs? It's like, you made the alliance. How would I make the alliance? How would I name the alliance? The oddballs is such a stupid name. And I'm like,
oh, I didn't get them. Or to be the clip. I think wasn't it more of Austin's name?
No, Victoria made the team the oddballs. She
came up with this name originally.
Yes.
Well, she's like, who would come up with that? It's the stupidest name thing ever.
The oddballs. We may be a little quirky, but we got the numbers.
It's straight up. It was Victoria who named it.
Well, that was an Austin clip right there. But
yes,
but
it was Victoria who named it, and she told it like, "Why would I make such a stupid name?" It was like, "Yes, you did. That was you." It's great. It's great. But that's what you got to do.
That's awkward.
You do whatever you do, right? You do whatever you need to do to make sure that they're wrong and you're right. Right. And she did it. I have to commend her. She was looking for blood, and Tara looked like a warm-up punching bag. And Victoria was just taking body shots.
At first I thought Tara was okay. She's like, how did I lie? How did I lie? I'm like, okay, Tara, you're handling this okay. You're off to an okay start, but I was like, Tara is not gonna be able to control herself here, and this is not necessarily gonna
curl up in a ball. Curl up in a ball.
Yeah, I was like, this can go nowhere good for Tara. Even though it didn't change one vote here in the end.
No,
but
but they let Victoria know what happened.
yeah, right.
How did you know though
How did I know what?
that Victoria was going home?
It was more just from their speeches. Like just Victoria's speech where she's like, "This was the dirtiest backdoor ever," blah blah blah. So that's where I knew.
Honestly, the way you know for sure, see how she was dressed versus how Tara was dressed. Tara was dressed to do an HOH competition, right? Victoria was dressed in a dress, right, and ready to go home. Yeah.
Yes, I did notice. I did notice that. Yeah, like Tara didn't seem like ready to go, but yeah, that was. It was just something else. There was Vic also called Tara. What did she call her? A lying bee, was it?
Yes, she did. Oh my gosh. And then she said that she doesn't everyone thinks that you don't belong in this game. She said that she would rather quit than go to jury. And she's like, "Don't change my words. I said I was gonna I wouldn't want to go to jury and be away from my family and not be fighting for the winnings." That's what I had a problem with, right? And she like Tara really like got angry about that accusation that she was just like she didn't care about the game, and she was wanted to quit. That kind of lit a fire under Tara, but Victoria was already like 6-8 steps ahead in terms of intensity.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that really set her off. She did not she was called a bitch and everything like that. She was fine with it for the most part in terms of the argument. But when it was talking about Jury House, Tara just got angry. It was great.
Well, it became about her kids, and for her, it started becoming like, "Well, Mike, don't make. I'd be sad to miss my kids and be all alone in a jury house." I kind of get what Tara was trying to say, but it was nothing like it was just Victoria's like, "I got you where I want you."
Yeah.
I know. This is over. And then when she calls her some names, Tina's just like, "Well, that was a little harsh."
Rose should have threw a towel. Throw the damn towel. Tara was just getting bodied. Oh my gosh.
But after this whole thing in the backyard, like Jedson kind of goes, "I don't even know what to think anymore. Maybe like now I know about oddballs. And they want to get me out." Like Jedson is a Cody like player. That's who Jedson now reminds me of. Although Cody wins, Jedson doesn't really win things that much. Really, he's allied with people who do.
If he's Cody, I need a table directly in front of the nomination seats so that he could get eliminated and walk right over it to go outside, just like Cody.
Yeah.
Other Cody, not Cody.
Oh, the other Cody, Calafiore.
Not that Cody. The Cody that walked on the table when he got eliminated. Didn't hug anyone, just walked straight out.
Oh, that Cody. Yes.
Yes.
Crazy Cody.
Crazy Cody. But yes, you're right. Yeah. California. Yeah.
No, right.
Congratulations, Cody.
Okay. So I wasn't invited.
More? Did you want more
of that?
Yeah.
It was enough.
You think
it's a double eviction? You're always. I think on a double eviction night, I'm always kind of just waiting to get to that part of the show, and maybe even this part of the podcast where we're going to talk about the second part of it. But I thought we should give it all some coverage here.
I just feel that, especially if we're changing the format, which they have been doing, a couple of weeks ago they changed the format. I felt that the veto kind of ceremony was a little bit too tame, and if they started off or ended the episode with that, right, just like let's say the beginning part where things started to ramp up, and then started this episode with the conclusion of that where it like really ramps up, I think I would have liked it a little bit more. I would have rathered it like it was extended into the previous episode and then finished off in this episode. That that Tara Kiefer conversation could have been shown after that, right? I think that was the driving force to get you to watch it. But also, it was a double eviction, so people are going to show up anyways.
Yeah, I'm always here for a good double eviction. This is like a live to tape, so like this is a very edited down. Like they can, it doesn't have quite the same tension as a live episode does. Where it has to move at a certain breakneck speed, whereas this, you don't really know how much is getting cut out. But just from these speeches tonight, yeah, like it was the clothing, but it's also Tara's speech. It was just kind of safe. It was kind of nothing, and then.
I'm just saying that I'm going back to that fight. That fight, there's a clip of it on YouTube. It's almost 40 minutes.
How long it was going on? Well, they got nothing to do but fight.
So I know what I'm doing afterwards, and that's watching
that back. Okay? So I think you've asked me a couple times. Don't you want more? And I'm like, not really. Like, but you clearly do. So
I want the smoke. I want the smoke.
It's over. It's like it's a blip in this season. There's so much, but
Okay, I'm sorry. I just love people shouting at each other.
I just do too. It was great. It was but we can't dwell on it. We not on Rex Manning Day. We have to
not today.
Not on
Rex Manning Day.
We have to keep things moving. Like I need there to be the next fight. There might be a jury house fight now with Victoria and maybe anybody to come. Like Victoria is not done.
Beth gets sent out. Oh,
she will. Beth eventually will. But let's
vote. Sorry, let's continue. I'm sorry. I keep dragging you back to that fight.
Back to the fight. Hey, it was a good fight. I made it the background because it was so good. It was it is going to be one of those moments we won't forget. But just this vote, it was unanimous. Again, no surprise. And Victoria's exit here, she gives a big group hug. She says, "I'll be waiting for you all in jury." She twerks a little bit on the stairs on the way out. Reactions? Face palm, big face palm.
No reaction. Just like, okay, no.
Yeah. Victoria said it's called a legend by Arissa on the way out. Maybe. Nobody was. I didn't pull any more sound clips for anybody more than Victoria this season so far. I am gonna miss her as like a primary contestant in this season, but she spent so much capital so early. Her story, it would have been nice to see it continue, but I'm okay that it ended here. It is a kind of a spectacular thing. Maybe the legend thing is sort of deserved because this is sort of the time.
But let's say Kiefer gets to final two. Shouldn't we say that Kiefer is a legend too? Because for the most part, he kind of you can say that if he wins, like, let's say another HOH and a veto, pretty dominant throughout the season.
Oh yeah.
And the good guy from Haida.
Yeah. Don't you know? I think Kiefer has a very impressive resume, and I think the tragic thing is that Jensen will somehow win this in the end, cutting Kiefer's throat.
And they're like, "Who's Kiefer? Oh yeah, that dude who helped Jed make it to the end."
He rode Kiefer all the way to the win, right? Like he just on his back.
He's a good horse. Good horse.
He was just like, "Come on, buddy, you're gonna help me get up the mountain." So she said, and then she says in her speech here, "Nothing's rigged. There are no bananas, Jaemeel.
Nothing is rigged. Everything that happens is so real.
It's so real. I don't want to hear any more about these conspiracy theories, Jaemeel."
It sounds like someone describing virtual reality. It's so real. Yes, it seems so real, but it's not. Okay,
so real. Like, she's just like, she's sucking up to production here. She's like, "This is amazing. I loved it." Code word bananas.
Yeah.
She
talked about casting, which is accurate. People need to understand that out of thousands, I don't know how many applicants. I'm sure hundreds of thousands maybe might have applied. But these, individuals were chosen, or selected, I should say.
Let's say thousands. We could presume there's thousands of contestants or applicants.
And they did get chosen for this experience, and they were experiencing it together. So, absolutely, we can't take that away, right? We can criticize all we want, but they got to play and we weren't. So,
Yeah,
for now,
for sure.
now.
Victoria is one. So hey, in good honor. So here, let's just get into the second part of the double and just talking more about that part.
Victoria,
for now,
you're on borrowed time.
But here, we're gonna eulogize here. Victoria Woghiran. Is that how we would say this name? Or Woghiran? The 27-year-old from Hamilton. She also she shouted out Hamilton in her speech, which is right next door to my city, and the hometown of my wife. She was very pleased when that thing was given. But here she goes out as the first jury member, 9th place overall, and is evicted on day 39. Jaemeel, are you done? Are you?
I'm done.
Yeah, you had Julie, who was evicted first. So I forgot that. Yeah, you're out of here. So you're off the board. But I'm still alive with Tashawn and Tara. I don't know if they'll win, but they're still in it. And
Daryl is mystery guest.
Yeah, we always said if anybody was added to the game, Daryl would get the rights to him. Amanda has Rohan. Well, Rohan will get crossed off here, but we're not ready to
talk about that yet.
To talk about that hasn't happened yet in our chronology here.
But looking at those ages again, Victoria and Beth, the same age, does not feel that way at all with how they act in the house.
Yeah, same age as Kyle. Well, Kyle's a year younger than both of them, actually.
Also, does not feel like the same in terms of maturity wise.
But like Kiefer is only 32. He's only like
but Kiefer's like an
5 years older than them.
He feels like an old man.
Yeah, he's got some city miles, even though he's not from the city. But and then you got Tashawn, who's 29, versus like Jedson,
who's what, 28.
Jedson went so late in our draft. He went 11th. But yeah, he's 25. He's one of the youngest.
Wow.
Actually.
So
Braden, 23.
So when they were playing basketball, it would have been senior versus like a junior.
Yeah, Tashawn's a fair bit older. He's about 4 years older, right? So they're not
sophomore versus senior. Sorry.
Yeah. So they would have had a crossover in like eras in basketball at certain periods, depending on how old you're talking about. But yeah. So yeah, that was the end of Victoria. See you later. Then we get into this double. This HOH was a classic Big Brother before and after, the up and down steps. You can't see each other. You're in socks, so no one can hear what steps you're taking. And Kiefer runs all 6 rounds of this competition tonight, Jaemeel. He doesn't miss a question. Closest next to winning this was, I think, Rohan, right? Rohan had about 4 or 5.
Yeah. It was dominant. Like the way Kiefer did it, and if you were watching him, he knew the answer. Where others were like debating on it, he was like,
he always knew.
Oh, he has been putting in work. The only other person I know that has put in as much work as Kiefer in terms of kind of getting their dates down and everything was Tina, and I think she got 3 right. I'm not quite sure. I kind of lost track of it.
Tina did actually. Tashawn did okay in this competition. He at least got 3 or 4 points. Tara came alive too late in it. Jedson was kind of not really great. And Tina was okay too. So
she got 2 or 3.
Yeah, Tina at least 3. I think I recorded for her.
Like Kiefer was just straight up dominant, and that's a target on his back. That's appearing bigger and bigger. That being said, he did get out his intended target.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he wins this out. Now, if Rohan had won this, does he put up Kiefer?
I would hope not. I would honestly hope not. I'd hope that he would put up Jed and Ty.
Yeah. I just don't know what's the better move too, because Kiefer obviously was gunning for Rohan, so it stands. You can make an argument that Rohan would have to just preemptively strike against Kiefer potentially as well.
But then it's a matter of good faith as well, and go, hey, look, I could have put you up, but I didn't. I know you've been gunning for me for a long time, and I just want to let you know Like I'm looking after those guys, dude. So
Right.
like if you kind of like ease up on me, like I'll continue to not look at you, right? And put you as a replacement.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you. Like it was okay. Well, let's just get into what actually we saw tonight. Yeah, Jane, who has Kiefer in the draft, by the way, was very happy with this Kiefer result. I literally wrote here, Jane is happy. I am sad. That was my note.
But happy
Right?
wife, happy life, dude.
Happy wife. Yeah. So it was win-win, I guess. In this situation, it was definitely win-win for Jane.
Who did you want to win?
I wanted Rohan to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for Rohan's story to be over. Victoria, I was ready for it to be over. I was like, Victoria, this was entertaining, and you were just about to outlive your welcome, and it's kind of like, and then she was out, right? And so Rohan, though, it was. I thought I would have liked to have seen him as an HOH. I would have liked to have seen how that would have played out, especially.
I would have loved to see him with power, with actual real
power. You know, Kiefer winning and just giving a more of a win here to the Sunsetters and all of this. This was not, I think, the best case scenario for the entertaining faction of the game. It is if you're coming from Jane's perspective, where you're cheering for Kiefer, then sure, this was a great night, you know. And if you're cheering for that a lot, she also has Jetson, right? So she like anything that benefits the Sunsetters is a win for her. So, but it's I have Tashawn, so by de facto, like anything. If we're just playing based on the draft, if we're just thinking in that term, then yes, I'm okay with what happened. But I'm actually not, because I don't really feel allegiance to either of my draft picks, to Sean or Tara. Like in terms of like, I really want to see them win. I think that they could win, or at least I did back then.
She hit the right combination. Your wife Jaden did, because she got two supposed alliance members that have been working together for a long period of time. Of course, I chose two people that ended up being aligned, but they only got to be aligned for a week. Right?
So. Yeah, and like my Tara and Tashawn are clearly not working together, so I don't have that. Place there.
Yeah. But you know, Keith has a dominant win. Right after the win, go straight to commercial, and we get to see a little bit what happened during the commercial.
Yeah.
So Bro was having a conversation with like Jed, you know, kind of implying that don't get rid of me because you know I'm a shield. Everyone's gonna come after me before they come after you, which I'm like, depends on who wins. Right? It's not entirely accurate.
Not a great argument.
It was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. Right? Promise everything that you can. Throw everything against the wall. If this is your pitch to save your life. And I didn't feel there was much fight in him. He
was kind of like almost ready to go out here, I thought, in some ways. Yeah, I felt like he was kind of tired of it. Or I don't know, like Rohan's kind of a hard guy to read, but his reaction to all of this was sort of like he got put up tonight and he was like, respect. I'm like, you know,
no
I don't
respect.
know.
Like be angry, like Victoria almost single-handedly took herself off the block, even though it makes perfectly good sense to get rid of her now than keep her around. She almost convinced people, or she convinced people, and then they changed their mind. Like, what were you thinking? We have to get her out.
Like, I think when you're in a position where you win 3 vetoes in a row, I think that just creates resentment in the house that, you know, and hey, Rohan's a fellow Pisces. I know he's feeling that energy. You know, he was probably like, I can't take it anymore. You got to get me out of here, man. Like the Rose show I didn't win this. He almost wins this veto tonight, I think, right? He was doing.
I think, it was just behind Ty.
Okay, in the veto, we had Rohan, Tashawn, Braden, Tina, and Beth.
We have to mention that the two people put up is Braden and Bro.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Braden, Rohan. We kind of talked to the top, but yes, that this was that I was like, of course, this is Kiefer's going to Kiefer. As I said, you said you were disappointed. You thought he might consider making a move. I was never even thinking for a minute that Kiefer was going to make a move here, other than to do this. he's just locked into his brain. He's loyal to the soil, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And so this played out exactly. I was like, okay, POV, maybe Rowan takes himself down. That might be interesting to see who Kiefer would put up next to Brayden, and then who would ultimately go.
Yeah.
But I was like, worst case scenario is that it's the noms stay the same. Of course, my draft pick here to Sean.
Stay solid.
He wins this competition called what was the Swords in the Maze, and it was like, they've done variations of this over time. You got to like move the stick thing out of the thing. It was hooked up to like a big prop sword, and you got to go through like the clicks there. Looks like Tina was doing okay at this too. She seemed to be moving along. She hasn't played in a lot of competitions, Tina.
No, not really.
So it was kind of nice to actually see her in one. But this celebration by Tashawn
Lord,
was embarrassing. It was like he had just won the Stanley Cup or the NBA championship or something. It was.
I think it's a little bit of relief because they haven't been winning challenges, so it's like finally he's in one. Finally, he struck gold and is able to, finally win. So he's like, yes, I got the monkey off my back.
Yeah, he had like the sword, and he almost wanted to like hold the sword up, like he was like Excalibur, like he had pulled it out and was the new champion.
Oh my gosh, they should have got it clip, and he's like, I have the power.
Yeah, and like Tashawn, not only is he happy he won a competition, he's happy he just has some kind of power. He has like like this guy, if he had won HOH early on, like he would have been like loving it. He would have been that type of HOH, I think, that would be wearing the robe, just be sort of like up there,
just walking around in the robe with the veto just hanging from his neck, right? Little pipe in his hand. Just
that's totally a Tashawn thing. So it was
Yeah. I like the challenge. Challenge is nice. It's quick. Kind of disappointed at the result. But let's say, you know what? I'm being a little bit too negative because I'm afraid that certain people are going to railroad to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But if we get a season ending where it's like people are winning HOH, all the people are winning HOH, and people who are on the block are fighting and win veto, and it becomes this back and forth battle. And we've always been asking for more of a back and forth battle. What happens if that's what we get and this ends up like if we get a very competitive final, run to the end of this game, this could go back as like one of the most entertaining seasons of Big Brother that we can think of.
Yeah.
Right?
It's probably the most entertaining season since I became a fan of Big Brother, which is Big Brother 15 US.
Okay.
Circa like 2013 or so. That's when I started watching Big Brother. So, which is coming up on, I guess that's 8 years ago at this point. So, and the game seems to used to be a little bit different. I came in as a fan when it was changing, and the dynamics. This is a little bit more what I've always wanted. Sort of you want expect the unexpected, and often you get that promises unfulfilled. Yeah. You can't expect the expected sometimes. People are how predictable are humans? If you're going to invoke Westworld, which why not? We're on Super Mader Brothers podcasting tonight, and Westworld was the first podcast we ever did. Humans can kind of be boiled down to a few lines of code. They're very predictable in a lot of cases. And so sometimes I'm like, that's what I thought, but I'm disappointed it's the case. But when I get like when people surprise, it's always fun.
Like when we look back at this season, and I'm not ready to do a memoriam of the season yet. We still got more game to go.
Oh, yeah.
But we have minimal like twists, like huge twists that like give people a natural advantage. The team thing went 2 weeks. It went 2 weeks, right? The whole team thing. We had, yes, a very strong and tight alliance, but that strong, tight alliance still like had to work for the most part. Like, even though not all the members went up, like Kiefer did a lot of work in those early weeks. he was either on the block or he was the HOH, right? He put
Yeah.
in work. So it's, and Austin won. Like right now, the only people that have won HOH that's left in the game is Kiefer.
That's
He's the
true.
only
And
one
Beth.
to win HOH. And Beth, sorry, yes. So chances are we're probably going to get a new HOH. How does that work? What happens if Tina's HOH? What happens if Tara's HOH? What happens if Jed or Ty? What does that look like? We don't know.
Well, yeah, like I think if we get another member of this Sunsetter / trio group, I think it's more of the same. We're going to see like either some combination of Braden, Tina, or Tara go next. And then what is sort of I keep coming down to like once it comes down to just you people, the group, like that Sunsetter group, I guess. Like are you just going Kiefer goes next and then probably Beth after that, and then it's Tashawn and Jedson at the end? And what did Tashawn and Jedson do to deserve it? Like it seems like they ran a great social game, and I think you can lay most of that at the feet of Jedson more than Tashawn.
Jetson's been the heart and Ty has been the head for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It comes across like Jedson's both to me. Like Tashawn doesn't come across as I would say he's more the heart if I had to assign him to one of those two, but he feels like more of the sidekick to Jedson's like Superman kind of persona, he's more of a Cody archetype to me. Jedson, like more aggro, more dominant, more like kind of like, who said my name? Or you say my name? I heard, if your name's coming out of my mouth in some meeting, I hear about it. Like, oh my god! Like,
does he also don't like victim noises as well?
He doesn't like victim noises.
How do I know if you're ever being real now?
How do I even know? Like, it's like you said my name. You said someone said like literally the sound Jed came out of your mouth. So.
Oh, dude, cracking me up.
Yeah. Okay. And so, like Tashawn hears a plea from Rohan here. It's not like, and Ty's just like, yeah, no, man. Like, sorry,
sorry, man.
No way. 5-0. This vote. Ro hugs and even with Kiefer, who I thought it was a bit of a.
I think if we respects that, like this dude basically took a shot to get rid of him. He called his shot ahead of time, regardless of what personal stuff has happened. When they look back on it, like you're not in it anymore for the most part. You're not in it anymore. So like that animosity, it's done. What could you do?
True.
And I think the same thing. If Kiefer was eliminated, he'll be like, "You got me, bro," right? And shake his hand. It's not like they're going to be best friends or anything like that. But as Victoria mentioned, they have a bond regardless because they were in the season, and that bond can never be broken.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Like that's a fair point, and I hope that they can be friends. And I just hope Kiefer got a little too intense. I think just with his like how much he wanted to get Rohan out, and he did it, and good on him. But I hope that once this is over, he's like, we're cool. Even I hope so. For his sake. So Rohan goes out here. His speech was very. It was good. It was sort of forgettable too, and he's done here. But let's cross him off as well here. We don't get to do this all the time, and so here we have. Whereas Rohan went very late in our draft. He was not well ranked in terms of our world because in our preseason preview podcast, Jaemeel. We kind of tore Rohan up. We were like, I
did specifically. I said that he was unlikable.
Yeah, we said he's contrived. We said he was basic. That he liked the killers. It was here he goes out. But Amanda, my future sister-in-law, she loses Rohan here, but he was a late pick. It came down to Rohan and Braden, ironically for her. In that draft, and they were the two on the block here tonight who have done much better. And you see, like the people who are like with late in our draft are actually the people that have done or have lasted in this. Like Braden, Tara, Jedson, well, not
you got to eliminate.
I got to cross up Victoria now, but
And Austin. Oh, Austin, you have
Austin. No, Austin was our first overall pick.
Keith.
She's gone. Latoya was second, gone. But I took Tashawn third. That has. But okay, if you had to pick, who's the favorite to win? I'd say it's either Jedson or Kiefer, right?
Yeah, depending on how things go. Yeah.
And I think Jane owns both of them. So Jane looks like the smartest Big Brother drafter ever. And we'll see. She's won before. So, and if it's not Jedson or Kiefer, I think the next favorite to win is probably Tina, who Jeff owns. Beth is a dark horse a little bit now after this week.
Really?
Brayden.
You would put Beth and Brayden over Ty?
Possibly, yeah. I think that Beth and Brayden have better. Ty after this veto, maybe a little bit more tonight. But before this win, what has he done? Like, other than just been there for conversations and maybe
flirted with Brayden and also
Beth
and Victoria.
And Victoria, and he gets around, but that's, I don't know if that's a social game more than him just entertaining himself. So it is what it is. But you use your assets, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh, who else does Amanda have? Amanda also had Latoya, so Amanda's out of this draft. Like yourself. So we had two people go out tonight in our pool. So I'm still alive, Tashawn and Tara, Kiefer and Jedson. What if it comes down to, what if that's like the final four? Me and Jane have the final four. Is that that's a pretty unlikely final four? Jedson, Kiefer.
You say unlikely, but
not really. Actually,
no.
that could actually happen. Kiefer, Jedson, Tashawn, and Tara.
Could.
Yeah. And then what?
Kiefer wins HOH.
Kiefer wins HOH, and then who does he take to the end?
He won't get to choose. The veto winner will choose.
Okay. And if it's final four,
yeah.
So let's say
that would mean Tina. It would be Tara, Jed, and Ty. Right, if I'm right. Right.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Yeah, between those three, Tara, Jed, and Ty, who won the veto. If Kiefer is the HOH,
and then Tara wins the veto. That would be so weird.
And who does she keep? I hope she keeps Tashawn, but
for her sake, I think in your eyes, especially Tashawn, and then final three with Tashawn and Jed and Tara. That would be
a crazy final three too, though.
And then they do the final HOH. Like the physical, I don't know who would win that.
Not Tara. Tara would not win any of that. So I think it would come down between.
If they have the endurance one, like she's not winning the puzzle one.
No, that would probably go to Kiefer. I think in that hypothetical final three of Ty, Kiefer, and Tara, I think Ty wins part one of that HOH. Kiefer wins part two, and
Kiefer
then
wins part three.
And Kiefer probably wins part three. And then who does he want to sit next to at the end? Probably Tara. So
he'll probably take. I think he'll take a sunsetter. I think he'll take Ty, and say
it's not the right move though. It would be the right move is to sit next to Tara at the end.
If he's won at that point 4 HOHs, because he would have won 2 previously. Did he win 2 previously? He won 1 HOH.
Who are we talking about, Jedson?
No, Kiefer. So far, he's won 1 HOH.
2 HOHs
because of double eviction.
Now he has 2, and he's won at least 1 veto, right?
Right, 1 veto. Final 4 in my scenario, he wins HOH, and then he wins the final HOH.
And he was a captain coming into this season.
So that would be 4 HOHs and was it a veto?
And how many times has he been a nominee? Like twice, right?
Twice, right?
Right, which it can actually work to his benefit. He can say, "I survived twice being on the block and being sort of at the bottom of the house."
That's a better resume than whatever Ty can put forward, like right now.
Oh yeah, so I think that given the chance, that Kiefer will be cut by any of them, right? And this is why he's kind of this tragic figure that if he doesn't win outright himself, which he very may well, he very well may. He's
but if Tina and Tara win, they cannot put up Kiefer.
Right. No, exactly. He's well positioned that way too. Yeah. But if he thinks that Jed and Ty and Beth even are going to be more loyal to him than to themselves, then he's just kidding himself.
Yeah.
That's the thing here. He's not going to make a big move against them because they're not going to make a move against him either because he has been loyal, and I don't know how much they believe in that. I think that they believe that they'll be loyal to Kiefer up until when they have to be, and then they'll cut him.
I just feel like if Kiefer gets to the end, the jury's going to reward him. Victoria's going to vote for him.
Yes.
I think Roe is going to vote for him for sure, regardless of what happened. I think Roe, once again, will pick the person with the best resume, which at current speaking is Kiefer. Who else? Like, sure, he would also lose 2 votes with Beth and, in this scenario, Beth and Jed, right? So it'd be a 2-2 tie. Then who else would vote? Tina and Tara. I think Tina and Tara will also vote for Kiefer. I think Kiefer would win. If Kiefer gets to the end, I think he would win.
If Kiefer is at the end, I think he will win almost against anybody.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely.
But getting to the end is easier said than done.
I think that other people know this too. I think that if given the chance, I think even his own allies may be tempted to cut him. Like I think Judson might be, if he had a chance to get a Kiefer at some point, if Kiefer's on the block, and even if Judson's not the one who ultimately made him go up there, he might say, maybe I need to cut Kiefer at this point because Kiefer will beat me at the end, right? Like if Judson's been good at anything, he's been manipulating others to get rid of his biggest competition without even having to do it himself.
Which is true.
And that's a skill in itself, how much of that credit Ty deserves. It doesn't feel like a lot, but maybe it's more deserved than is presented on the show. It does, or even Beth. Like how much of that can you lay at the feet of Beth, right? It seems like Judson kind of runs Beth, like in terms of what she is allowed to do, but maybe that's an exaggeration. That's my vibe I get from it.
That's what you're getting presented from the clips and the television show that you're seeing.
Yeah, that she's sort of like the submissive, obedient girlfriend to Judson's sort of. I'm do what I want. Don't you say my name. I don't want to hear about a syllable. I don't want to hear Jed. No Jed, no Ted, no Ty, no nothing. No Beth. You want some bacon and eggs? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That clip.
So, as we've kind of alluded to, I don't think we outright said it. Rohan wins a veto. Ty wins veto.
Yeah.
That's last week. And Ty does not use it. Rohan and Braden are the 2 nominees for the week. And then they have the vote. And then unfortunately, Ro is eliminated. They have the conversation with Arissa, which no real information is given at all. And we don't say goodbye messages, and it goes into the end of the show.
Were you surprised that Victoria didn't get any goodbye messages?
I think they want to speed up the
There's no time.
Yeah. Although they could have found the time, because I think that would have been great to see that.
Yeah, I don't know what would you have cut from the show to show it?
Have it 5 minutes and pay for the commercials. Like Global's done it before. Like they've had overlap. Just give me 2 more minutes of it.
I think that's a fair request. Global, if you're listening, we want just in 2 more minutes. Just give it to us.
Yeah,
right?
It's already bad enough. Like, okay, that would mean 5 minutes past 10 when it's already late, and the fact that the episode is at like either 9 o'clock on Monday or Thursday or 7 o'clock on Wednesday. It's a little bit late, and they should be thinking about people having to go to work, especially from home, and have to, they could have found the time.
Like you gotta come on. We wanted to see it.
And also in my scenario with what I was talking about, putting the fight in the previous episode, that would mean things would be shifted around, and they might have a spare couple of moments to put those goodbye messages.
Nothing is rigged. Everything that happens is so real.
Bananas.
Okay, so that was the end result. Like, so now, where do we go from here, Jaemeel? What happens next? We don't.
wait to
We
see what
like.
HOH is.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, but we don't know who the next HOH is, right? Like, that's not revealed yet. They haven't even played the competition yet, as far as we understand.
Have not played the game yet.
So we won't find this out probably till Monday or sometime between now and Monday. But in terms of this podcast and our coverage, we won't know tonight. So I just feel like it's going to be like Jedson or Ty next or something.
You gotta keep the hope.
But I want to see it to be like Tina. I want to see a Tina HOH. I want to see an underdog story here. I want to see something that's not so predictable, because after this Beth HOH and things, I like to see a balanced season. And right now it's feeling like that's not the way things are going. This Kiefer was more momentum for Sunsetters. And hey, I'm not a Sunsetter hater per se. Maybe I am. But I'm sort of I want to see them run the game. And run.
Just want to kind of see them, turn up some, fingernails. You want to see some action.
I want to see some action. I want to see a little bit. I want to see some cutthroat. This week was very entertaining. I think this whole backdoor with Victoria was great. I think even like Rohan going out here in the second part of this HOH or double eviction tonight, it was fine. Like, hey, like Rohan, I would have liked to have seen his story go a little further. I think that it's too bad, but at the same time, it was his time, clearly, right? Like, it was like, that this was not that. It was at least a worthwhile use of an HOH and a double eviction. If Tara had gone out here in the second half, that would have been the worst case scenario, I think. And not just because I have her in the draft, but just because it wouldn't be it would just be like, well, she was the other person on the block, so you're always mentally prepared for anybody who's of the two on the block that anything could happen. Yep. So it just doesn't have the same impact. This cast needs to feel the impact of this double eviction and what it is for it to sort of evolve into what I hope it will be, which is a great end to our next 4 weeks, I guess, that we'll have of this season, as things are going to wrap up and we head into the final stages of the jury phase.
The one thing we can say about Ro leaving is now the field is clear for Kiefer. He's been blinded by his dislike of Ro for too long. And hopefully now we get some perspective, because like, if we want to see the entertaining rest of the season that we're hoping for, it involves Kiefer putting in work. So
well, I think that's the most thing. The thing I'm most interested to see is now, who does Kiefer, not just with Ro gone, but also with Victoria gone, because Victoria was sort of this other person that he was always an option. And now what's left? He has Tina and Tara on one side, and now he has the trio on the other side, really, right? And Braden. And then Braden's sort of randomly here too. But like, he's sort of, if anybody's in the middle, if anybody's playing both sides, it's now Kiefer.
Yep.
Right? Except with Braden. He's not with Braden. He's now put Braden on the block, and so that's somebody he's definitely probably not allied with.
Yeah.
And
it's either Jed and Ty is going to put up, or it's going to be Braden and Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson, sorry.
Is that your mother?
No, that is not her.
No.
Or Tara.
Or Tara.
No, Tara. Not Beth, who is like Mrs. Robinson.
No, yes.
Are you trying to seduce me?
Stifler's mom. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, yeah. Like, I think that
I'm
like, what's the segue from there? Okay. Like, just in terms, yeah. Like, so I'm very anxious. I'm very anxious to see who's the next HOH, what happens next. But we can it's kind of coming down to which side is going to win. It's either there's kind of three options. It's either Braden wins, or a Sunset, like trio wins, or it's Tina Tara, right? Like one of those two. So, and if it's Braden's, probably the most interesting to me, because I'm curious to see how he plays it.
I think he goes after Ty and Jed.
Yeah.
I think so.
Lies, lies, lies. We're trying to make some good television.
Look, if he goes after Jed and Ty, forget about Victoria being a legend. People already love Brayden.
Mm-hmm.
People would already love him. They would erect statues in his name. That's how some people don't want those two guys to win, Jed and Ty. And I could understand that because it looks like a lot of things they're not putting in as much work as other people, but their management to not touch the block, that's not by accident. That is like they're doing something right.
Yes, I think a lot of it has it just get like their advantage or their starting advantages is more accurate to say was their looks, but they also have the social clout to sort of work those relationships, and that you can't take that away from them. But was it easier for them than if they were not good looking? Yes.
Yes.
Right. Like that.
That's
I'm sorry.
technically life though, too.
That's just like that's kind of like human nature. Is it right? Is it just? Definitely not.
if
But
if Beth wasn't attracted to or attractive to Jed and Ty, would they be together like they are right now as a tight trio? Right?
no, I don't think
No.
so.
It's-
Right?
If
If
Kiefer
Beth was
better
even
looking,
married,
if Kiefer was better looking, would he be in a better position, or would
yes.
he be? I disagree. I think he would be considered more of a threat, and he would have been eliminated already.
I don't know. Maybe it's like this hypothetical. I'm like, how much better looking is he?
If he looked like Kyle, he would have been eliminated.
Yeah, if he was Kyle good looking, no, he
Yeah.
has to be like Jedson good looking.
There's levels.
There's levels. There's levels. There's a certain body. There's a certain body type. And Kyle was not meeting it.
We never saw Kyle without a shirt. I'm watching right now. Like
I've never seen Jedson or Ty wear a shirt.
Jed and Ty were both in the Expedia room working out, doing like yoga, whatever. And Brayden is just there sitting down watching them and talking. Right? Like
Stay solid.
he's like, yes, stay solid. Yes.
Love this.
Clench those abs. Right?
Yeah, like he's loving life.
But like that's an advantage that Kiefer's not going to be. If Kiefer's working out in the Expedia room without a shirt on, he's getting eliminated in 2 weeks or less. No lie.
Right. Like I don't disagree. It's that's why I want to see Brayden win. I want to see him do something before it's too late. Because I think he's a lame duck right now in some ways too.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might be able to wrap up for tonight.
Until like I was hoping that we would get some kind of HOH information, or at least be able to mention what we see in the HOH. But as of right now, all they're doing is kind of chilling and talking, and that's it. I was just kind of gearing up. Tina, I don't believe, is back from going into production to talk. So it was just Tina and Kiefer kind of talking upstairs, and then Brayden and I don't even know where Beth is, actually. I don't know if she's lying down or something, but
interesting. Well, hey, it seems like it's a quiet night tonight. Looks like tomorrow they're gonna have this. Oh, there it is. Live this.
Love this. Love it.
love it.
Love this.
Love it. I'm flipping through cameras to see where people are. Right now, I believe it's Jedson and Brayden in the kitchen.
Like a clue thing. It's like Jedson and Brayden in the kitchen with a candlestick.
Is Beth, not Beth, sorry, it's Tara. Who else is with Tara? I think
Tina.
it's Tara, Kiefer, and Tina are upstairs. So I think it's Beth's turn in the diary room.
There you go. Okay, well, it doesn't sound like too much is happening. So we're going to sign off for tonight, and we'll be back on Monday to start week 7 of this game as we, we'll probably get some update. Maybe we'll get an update from Jury House next week.
Oh, no, all of them are in the room together. Kiefer, Beth, Tara, and Tina are all in the bedroom, kind of just chilling and talking.
Cool. Also for Thursday, April 8th, happy birthday to my mother, Beth.
Happy birthday,
Mader.
Mrs. Mader.
Yes, big milestone birthday.
Yeah.
And
happy Rex Manning Day to you.
Happy Rex Manning Day to you too. Just to plug our other stuff here at Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, we cover all kinds of entertainment, including Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're talking about doing a TV theme song bracket of some form. So we might ultimate TV theme song like tournament. So we might be doing that soon. We also we do things like Westworld, Survivor, other reality shows as well. And we have another channel called Live Long and Podcast, which is Star Trek focused entertainment reviews and things like that. So on Tuesdays we watch Deep Space Nine episodes. On Wednesdays we watch Star Trek the original series episodes. We've also watched other shows like the movies and the different series like Star Trek Picard and Lower Decks and Discovery. So if you're a Star Trek fan, we got it all. And we also do these things called Star Trek Radio Theaters on the weekend where we do script reads of different episodes. And this Saturday night, Jaemeel Robinson, right here from this podcast, will be playing Dr. Julian Bashir from Deep Space Nine. This is like a James Bond episode of Deep Space Nine. It was so James Bond that Star Trek got a cease and desist letter from the people who make James Bond. So hey, if you want to see all that, I'm going to be playing Worf, but it's also like a Bond villain character and some other things. And Rom, the Ferengi. We have a great cast for this, so check it out. My brother playing Garrick. If you're a Star Trek fan, check out Star Trek Radio Theater on the weekends. And our third channel, which is called Trivial Debates, where we have our monthly arguments about movie, TV, music, and more. My son, Eamon Mader, is going to be hosting the next one. My father is going to be a contestant. And the rest of the panel from our Wednesday night podcast is Adam Woodward and Jody Simpson also going into it. Jody Simpson had a rough week. He almost he had all these heart issues and things, and he was
he's going to be fiery. He's going to be looking for blood. He's going to be going out for blood.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming for it this week. So check that, or not this week. This is going to be April 25th. We're going to be having that. So that's still a few weeks away, but it's very epic. We may even have a poster soon. So check all that out. Jaemeel, another great week here on the podcast with you. Thank you.
We made it.
All this. We made it. We made it a double eviction.
Yes.
It's something else. So hey, always a pleasure. I'm excited for next week. It's never been boring. A couple times it's been a little boring, but not too boring.
Yeah. And there's always something to look up to. As the numbers dwindle, it's going to get a little bit more tension. So I'm ready to ramp up. I'll get my popcorn ready, right? The sizzle is still there. The sizzle is still there.
Oh yeah, like it's happening. It's amazing.
Want to make just like a bunch of eggs or something?
Eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon, the sizzle of it all.
Yes.
Breakfast. All right. So thanks everybody. And wait, gotta get the clip, Dave.
Oh, I see. I didn't have my hand ready.
You didn't have it ready. Okay.